Dear students, today we will discuss on the topic mystical elements in Tagore's Gitanjali. As we all know that Tagore is the most outstanding name in the Indian writing in English. He was the one who first gained for modern India a place on the literary map of the world. He was a poet, philosopher, critic, playwright, novelist, artist, social reformer, and a great patriot. He tried his hand at all these things, and every route led him to the divine being. From his very childhood, he was taught to chant the slokas of the Upanishads in daily worship. Because his father Maharshi Devendranath had compiled those mantras in a book form under the title Brahma Dharma, and daily they were used in the worship, morning and evening prayer. Rabindranath Tagore's own nature, his father's company, and family atmosphere, all these things left a very deep impact on child Ravi's mind. Students, at the topic under discussion is mystical elements. So, it would be wise to discuss here what the mysticism is. Tagore's Gitanjali is a mystical poem. In mysticism, God is not a logical concept but a real presence. Mysticism is a belief, rather an experience about the knowledge of God or the ultimate truth which may be obtained through meditation or spiritual insight independently of the mind and the senses. The poems of Gitanjali are the offering of the finite to the infinite, the relation between the lover and the beloved, an analogy employed by the mystics world over. Throughout the mystic literature, this analogy is used to express the true relationship between the human soul and God. Tagore writes, "Life of my life, I shall ever try to keep my body pure, knowing that thy loving touch is upon all my limbs." The Vedanta thinkers do not place God in the solitude of a world beyond. Tagore's God is everywhere. He is in fire, in water, in herbs, in trees, in each and every object of nature. Thou art the sky, and thou art the nest as well, Tagore says. It is the quality of all mystics that they believe in the presence of God. God is everywhere. Whole universe is manifestation of God. Like Kabir, the mystic poet of Hindi literature, Tagore says that to see God, we should help the poor because Lord of the universe is among the poorest and downtrodden. He writes, He is there where the tiller is tilling the hard grounds and where the pathmaker is breaking stones. In another song of Gitanjali, he writes, Here is thy footstool, and there rest thy feet where live the poorest and lowliest and lost. In some songs of Gitanjali, the poet has described the vastness and immensity of God's love and gift and relationship between God and man. Some poems deal with the proper ways to realize God. In some poems, he says that God is found not in the temple but with the poor. Some poems express the yearning of the devotee for the union with the divine. It is tradition of devotional poetry, but it finds a new and original treatment in the hands of Tagore. When the actual union takes place, the poet's joy knows no bound. God also takes pleasure in this act. In Gitanjali, The poet does not merely sing, but he pours out his heart, and his heart were a rose, and the songs of Gitanjali its petal. Each petal has a message, the message of faith, of devotion, of soul's purity, of soul's yearning to merge with God. Poet says, in the depth of my unconsciousness rings the cry, I want thee, only thee. Outside the Bengali speaking elite, Rabindranath Tagore is known as the poet of Gitanjali, though he has other poetical works too. The Upanishads and Sanskrit poetics influenced Tagore very much and imparted a mystical touch to it. Tagore has drawn for his Gitanjali the best feeling and thought of Indian culture. His position, while holding to faith, is not at all dogmatic. He takes into consideration the best of past and present. The poems give comfort to many troubled souls. It is like the Bhagavad Gita on the one hand and some of the Old Testament on the other hand. It can be called synthesis of all that is best in the Indian and Western tradition. Like Kabir's poem, in Tagore's Gitanjali also, there is no border line between the natural and the supernatural. For Tagore, God is an inhabitant of the innermost recesses of the heart. He is a magician, player, the weaver of web of Maya. He it is, the innermost one, who awakens my being with his deep hidden touches. He it is who weaves the web of this Maya, at whose touch I forget myself. Offering to God are generally in flowers and songs. Gitanjali is an offering of song. Tagore wants for his God an offering of flowers too. Secondly, to Hindu religion and philosophy, flower stands for soul. His soul or heart is flower which he offers to God. Pluck this little flower and take it, delay not. I fear lest it drops and drops into the dust. Tagore always felt that he had a communion with the divine being. The divine touch is found in all the poems of Gitanjali. He believes that there is some invariable power which is guiding our destiny. God becomes Tagore's friend and beloved. He keeps his house open for his dear comrade. Tagore says, "Oh, my friend, my only friend, the gates are open in my house. Do not pass by like a dream." A more intimate and worthy relationship is realized by the poet philosopher Tagore. God is brother, father, mother, and lover. Such intense feelings engendered by such relationship are spiritually and mentally experienced by the poet. He says in Gitanjali, "As I know, this is nothing but thy love, O beloved of my heart, this golden light that dances upon the lips." Again, thou art the brother amongst my brothers, but I need them not. I divide my earning with them, thus sharing my all with thee. Tagore says, God is his mother and writes, "Mother, I shall weave a chain of pearls for thy neck with my tears of sorrow." In some poems he says, God is a teacher and he is a pupil. I know not how thou singest, my master. So, unlike the other mystics, Tagore speaks of God with different names. He calls him as King of Kings. Almighty is ever in search of man. He says God is present everywhere. He writes, "Have you not heard his silent steps? He comes, ever comes." Tagore knows that God is pleased with his song. and it is only through singing that he can be realized. Tagore knows that God is pleased with his songs, and it is only through singing that he can be realized. Divine presence is everywhere. Like John Keats, he wants to find God not charioted by Bacchus and his parts, but with the viewless wings of poesy. Tagore is real karmyogi. He believes in karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So, real freedom lies not in renouncing the world and its activities, but to feel divine presence in them. He writes in Gitanjali, deliverance is not for me in renunciation. I feel the embrace of freedom in thousand bonds of delight. Tagore does not believe in deliverance. God himself is bound in chain of love and is not free. So how do we hope to be free from bondage? He writes, deliverance. Oh, where is this deliverance to be found? Our Master himself has joyfully taken upon him the bonds of creation. He is bound with us all forever. So, the poet condemns isolation in an ivory tower or the ascetic way of life. He makes a forceful plea for the participation in daily activity of humble humanity. He advises the priest to give up their counting of beads, their singing and chanting of mantras, and the worship of God in a secluded corner of the temple with their eyes half shut. He says, leave this chanting and singing and telling of beads. Whom dost thou worship? In this lonely dark corner of a temple with doors all shut. Open thine eyes and see thy God is not before thee. Come out of thy dedication and leave aside flowers and incense. So, beautiful lines, and these lines remind us the lines of Kabir when he says to Hindus कि पाहन पूजे हर मिले तो मैं पूजूं पहाड़ ताते तो चाकी भली पीस खाए संसार. Again he writes for Muslims too, कंकर पत्थर जोड़ के मस्जिद दई बनाए ताजड़ मुल्ला बांग दे क्या बहरा हुआ खुदा है. मतलब God is neither deaf nor dumb. There is no need to cry. So, like most of the mystics, Tagore believes that the union can take place only in two ways. First, through love and faith, and second, through perception. Tagore applies both the ways. God is Satyam Shivam Sundaram. He is the truth that illumines the dark recesses of the poet's mind. He believes that death is a gateway to the sea of eternity, that life and death are the two breasts of the Divine Mother. When the mother takes the child from the one breast, he cries and weeps, but is soon consoled when it is put to the other one. Tagore writes, the child cries, or when from the right breast the mother takes it away, in the very next moment to find the left one, it's a consolation. So, this view reminds us the shloka of the Upanishad. Upanishad says, Na jayate mrete va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita van bhuyah अजो नित्यम हर्षतो अयम पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. हमारी आत्मा क्या है? अजर है, अमर है, इटर्नल है, इमॉर्टल है. इट कांट बी किल्ड इफ बॉडी इज किल्ड. सो टैगोर वॉज डीपली इम्प्रेस्ड बाय द मिस्टिसिज्म ऑफ कबीर. लाइक कबीर ही सेज हिमसेल्फ अ ब्राइड and God a bridegroom. He writes, the flowers have been woven and the garland is ready for the bridegroom. After the wedding, the bride shall leave her home and meet her Lord alone in the solitude of night. Not only this, but Tagore says us to be away from ignorance. He says, egotism and self-centeredness is another impediment in the path of spiritual realization. The ego of man is an obstacle in the way of spiritual quest. Poet condemns pride in worldly power and self-name and fame, and call them prison, which curtains the freedom of the human soul. The greater the worldly possession of man, and higher is his name and fame. The greater is his bondage and slavery. The greater is his care for the worldly possession, the greater is his forgetfulness of the spiritual self. He writes a very beautiful line on the ego. He writes in Gitanjali, the lines are, I came alone. I came out alone on my way to my tryst. Tryst means meeting place for lover and beloved. But who is this? कौन है? That follows me, जो मुझे पीछा कर रहा है. In the silent dark अंधेरे में. I move aside. मैं उससे बचता हूँ. To avoid his presence. But I escape him not. लेकिन उससे बच नहीं पाता. He is my own little self, my Lord. मेरे मालिक वो मेरा self है. Ego है. He knows no shame. But I am ashamed to come to thy door in his company. So, these lines again remind us the shloka of the Upanishads. He says, Avidyayah antare vartamana swayam dhira panditam manyamana dandram mimada pariyanti mudha andhe naiva niyamana yathandha. It means the ignorant who live in the midst of darkness but fancy themselves as wise and learned are like a blind man led and guided by another blind on a rough and uneven road. Unlike the Oriental mystics, Tagore was conscious of the divine reality, and he says, I will never shut the door of my senses. Proves this thing, so at last he realizes that he that is without name and form can't be defined by any particular word. He calls again and again thee. As a true mystic poet, he says, I boasted among men that I had known you. They see your picture in all works of mine. They come and ask me, who is he? I know not how to answer them. I say, indeed, I can't tell. They blame me and they go away in scorn, and you sit there smiling. A very beautiful lines. So, Tagore addresses God by different names, but ultimately realizes that God is present everywhere. He can't be defined by any single name. He has enveloped the whole universe. So at last, in the last poem of Gitanjali, he pays salutation to the God and calls only thee. So, it is quite clear that Tagore believes that God is present in each and every object of the nature. It is also said in Ishavasya Upanishad, Ishavasya sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat ten tekten bhunjitha magridha kasiddhanam. It means whatever is in the universe is covered by God. We should not greed for any other's wealth. So that's for today, for this lecture. Again, I will discuss on some other topic. Thank you.